Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Good morning, Insurance Syndicate members. Happy Winning on Wednesday. Hope y'all are having an amazing start to your week. Welcome to our weekly podcast. You can see here I have somebody definitely doesn't look like Tony sitting next to me, but we're excited to have him on, and I'll definitely introduce him here in a second. Good morning to everybody. If you guys can, real quick, please put in the comments that you can see and hear us. What's up, Lily? I see you out there. Appreciate you. Celebrated your birthday yesterday, even though it wasn't your birthday, but it's all good. But welcome everybody to the show. We're super excited for this one. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about really just the importance and the power of marketing, sales, and service within your agency. I know that's kind of broad, but we're going to kind of just break that down. The person sitting next to me here, and I'll let him introduce himself in a second, is he's got some really freaking cool things up his sleeve that I think he's going to share with us on the show, and just something that really even piqued my interest the other day at lunch. So real quick, though, before we get into the actual show, shout out, as always, to our main sponsor of Winning on Wednesday, Viva Virtual Solutions. We appreciate you. Again, shout out to Lily and everything that you're doing behind the scenes when it comes to editing, publishing, helping us run this group on top of the YouTube channel, TikTok, all that good stuff, and as well as all of our virtual assistants that we utilize through Viva. So shout out to Viva. We appreciate y'all and everything that you guys do for our agency and for the Insurance Syndicate. So real quick, and guys, go ahead and drop them in the comments now. We'll share ours after the intro here, but go ahead and drop your weekly wins in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate y'all. What's up, Todd? Mr. Buckaloo. What's up, brother? Are you at 8%? Let me know if you're at 8%, man. I'm sorry. I know I miss you, man. But shout out to you, Larry. Appreciate you, man. But drop those weekly wins in the comments, guys. We want to hear them. But for those who don't know who's sitting next to me, I'm talking to the guy sitting next to me. Who are you?
I don't even know who I am a lot of times. In all seriousness, my name is Mason VanMeter. A couple of years ago, I got in this industry. I started really diving into human. What's the word you could call it? Humanity at its core, human nature. I started studying all this weird stuff in my family's, like insurance, entrepreneurship, business. Like you're flirting with the borderline of insanity and obsession. Is like, in all reality, mother, I crossed that line a long time ago. So yeah, I'm a very strange man who wants to live life in.
And he's also very successful at running. And you were very successful in the life insurance industry, and now you've pivoted to just helping life insurance agents freaking crush it.
Yeah, selling a lot of high ticket info products. I've been an agent. I've ran an agency. I've helped other people build successful agencies. I have equity in other agencies, and I've been around the block a time or 12.
Dude, that's a good one. I feel like I can 100% relate to that. Well, y'all know, because I have to use my buttons, because we're going to get into our weekly wins. So Mason, you got just a second to think about what your weekly win is. Drop them in the comments, y'all, if you haven't already. We want to celebrate you. I like that. And that's it. What's a weekly win for you?
My weekly win.
Only one.
I read 3 books this week.
Really?
Yep. The same one 3 times.
Okay. What'd you read?
I'm going back through all of my old propaganda and manipulation stuff. Edward Bernays, Blair Warren. stuff that got me into this world.
Okay, right on. Well, Reed and I definitely have not done that. I will say, dude, my weekly win though, Mason, I've been freaking rocking and rolling, dude. Some of you guys have seen just some of the stuff that we're doing here at Clearview, but I got 2 new internal producers contracted yesterday. We have the Geico contract, which I know some of y'all have seen me posting about it. We're getting to work on it. Okay, so just hang in there with me. I will be messaging you. I know that it's in my inbox. And we're also, man, I'm actually back in production, which is it's kind of cool to feel and see, because it has been years. A lot of you guys kind of know the position that I'm sitting in now, when it just kind of more headhunting and feeding the team and all the referrals and everything. I'm not in that production seat, but in this certain specific type of account, I'm actually back in production, and it's kind of part of what we're going to sit here and talk about, because even though not being in production for 2 to 3 years, obviously I'm still around it. I teach it, I coach it, and kind of a lot of the things that we're going to cover through just some of our outline and just really some of our personal experiences directly applied to being able to ask the right questions, being able to provide excellent customer service, speed to contact, right? Effective communication, all these things that we're going to kind of deep dive into with y'all this morning. So we're super excited for this, y'all. And again, just keep dropping those weekly wins in the comments. What's up, Jessica? Going to 8%. Driving from Colorado, bro. You're wild, Larry. Were you at you must have been at Thrive. What's up, Franco? JR, my man. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for tuning in as always, man. I appreciate you. Well, I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Again, what we're going to be talking about today is marketing, sales, and service within your insurance agency, and really the importance and power behind having those truly implemented and established within your agency. Obviously, insurance, we are in a relationship business. We're in a sales-driven business, but at the same time, a lot of what we're doing, unless you're a life agent, but even that, you still need to have excellent customer service, and retention matters to y'all. Even not as much maybe to a Medicare health or a PNC guy, where all my money's in the retention, right? So I think anybody can sell it, y'all, but then we're also going to cover some things that you guys can be doing to keep these people on the books. And so one of the questions here I kind of wanted to ask you, Mason, and just get I know your insights on this, but I just kind of want you to be able to share it with the group. And I think, there's a lot of people that are in this group that are potentially seeking this out and looking for those answers, right? And that golden bullet or the silver bullet, right, to fix all their problems, which is not necessarily 100% true, but kind of the purpose of this show is for us to kind of share some of these things with you guys. But Mason, what do you see, and guys, if you're relating to this or you're going through it now in your agency, drop that in the comments. What are some challenges that you're seeing insurance agents face right now?
People hate them. People hate them. People hate insurance. We judge what we don't understand. If you look at the mass consensus of people, they look at the generation they come from. Well, my dad said insurance was a scam. Well, okay. How's daddy doing? How's daddy doing? And so a lot of people just, they hate insurance.
What else?
Until they need it.
Well, yeah.
What else? Information. It's running rampant. We have every single person who they've watched one Alex Hormozy video and they think they can teach insurance agents what to do, or they've made $1 million. Like, this cesspit of information has never been more freely available. If you look now, poor people are rich. People are like, Mason, how could you say something like that? Well, this right here is the equivalent to 1,000 or 1 million servants. Just a couple hundred years ago, when we had people running around with swords and on horses, all that. So poor people are rich now if you have one of these. And so information's never been more available than it is today. And a problem solved 99% of the way is still a problem.
That's good.
And so it's finding that 1%. It's finding the nuances. Most people don't have enough. I won't even say that. It's very pessimistic in nature. I'll say human nature. This whole industry is about influence and persuasion and just understanding human nature. And the only problem that I'm not good at sales. No, you just don't understand human nature. And you say things like, I would never manipulate anybody. Persuasion is manipulation. Persuasion. And so it's that. I remember going to a magic show last year when I was in Vegas for a hypnosis class. And this guy pulled me aside he's like, can I trick you with my trick card deck? I was like, you can't trick me with a trick card deck. And he tricked me with his trick card deck, with his magic trick. And I had to ask myself the real question, how did I let myself get fooled? And it's that stuff right there. Like, I would never manipulate anybody. That's BS. You start manipulating at a very young age when you start playing bedtime politics against mom and dad. Like, life is a process of corruption, my dear friend. And so the more resistant you are to this stuff, the less successful you'll be in terms of business. You just can't shame human behavior. You cannot not communicate. You cannot not influence. So let me know how that goes.
Well, and I think, that is super important, y'all. And I hope you're kind of hearing what he's saying there, especially when it comes to the overwhelming amount of information that's out there, right? Where everybody's a coach now and everybody's kind of telling you the tricks of the trade and how to do it. Yet then they were like the failed insurance agent. and then that's why they became the coaches, because they couldn't make it in insurance. But, I also think, you're 100% correct, because we are it's a sales driven business, but it's also, we're in a people business. People do business with people. And if you're trying to do business with somebody, you got to be able to understand those triggers, how they react to certain, obviously I know you've done a lot. I know I've done a lot when it comes to just even understanding certain personalities and how to communicate with them and speak to them efficiently and effectively. All of those things are super important. But I think, kind of our first point that we wanted to get into, y'all, which ultimately is kind of the name of the game right now. And it is sales. Honestly, well, you don't even have sales without it. And it's marketing. And I think, understanding the things that Mason is talking about, and we won't necessarily get super deep into it on the podcast, but if you guys haven't had a chance to connect with Mason, some of the conversations I've had with the guy, he really does understand kind of how the brain works and how people really, choose to make those decisions, which is crazy powerful when it comes to marketing. And what we're talking about for marketing is really the importance of having a strong online presence. And so, Mason, I kind of wanted you, I have the website and the landing pages and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily, I use them just as, honestly, kind of just as a website. Like, they're just out there, I guess, for SEO stuff, where I know, what you're doing and your systems and kind of with your sites and your funnels and everything. Can you kind of talk to just the importance of that and what, really learning about those things has done, or really, how did you learn about them? And then ultimately, when it comes to setting up your funnels and driving people to the web, your online presence is wild. Talk a little bit about how you've been able to do that and how you're finding success in that.
Well, we live in an online world, and I understand human behavior. Marketing to me, is just applied psychology to the masses. And so I know how to plant ideas, embed commands in people's heads, and make them think it was their idea to do something in the first place. And so if I can drive traffic to a funnel compared to a website where they can only take one action, and it's the action I desire them to take to make a purchasing decision or to follow the next logical step in the customer journey to get closer to where I need to go. My whole thing is, how do I take a 10-foot hurdle that people cannot jump over and lower it to 10 1-foot hurdles? Or how do I remove the hurdle completely? And so when people go to a website, there's 80,000 buttons and all these things that talk about me. Personal brand, bro. Like that's cool, but that's what keeps people in. Direct response and marketing is what gets people to come in the first place. Branding is what keeps them. Direct response is what gets them in. So you see all these people talking about marketing and shit they don't even understand. It's like you've never even picked up a Dan Kennedy book, dude. What are you talking about?
Go one level deeper on that, because actually that's really good. I love these. What's super practical here? Like, if somebody's going to whip up a funnel, or a page, how do you structure your pages to keep it appealing, to keep them, I guess, what is it, the view rate, or keep them on the page? What would be a good way you would structure that?
General marketing statistics: for every 100 clicks you get to a landing page, you want a general opt-in rate is about 20%. So that means for every 100 people that visit, only 20 people are going to give you their contact information, email primarily. 80% of your dollar is spent on the headline alone. So most of the stuff I'm looking at is all above the fold. It's the headline, the subheadline before that, and whatever creative or lead magnet. So there's multiple things you can do. You can give a free one of many. If I'm selling a course, I'll give them the first step to solving their problem, and then they can buy step 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm trying to induce applied psychology and human behavior early on as possible. I'm using reciprocity. I'm making them feel like they are right. I'm giving them the illusion of holding power over their problems in life. I make them feel like they are needed. These are basic human things. I've learned all the advanced tactics and strategies and all this stuff. It really comes down to just understanding human nature. We want to feel needed. We want to feel like we have power. It's how cults get people in. Have you ever, if you're an insurance agent, how can David Koresh and all these people get people to do crazy things and off themselves and ascend to the next level in alien ships? You can barely sell a policy. These tactics and stuff, they're completely irrelevant if you don't understand the purpose and the principles that guide human behavior. It's like being right. We want to be right so bad. It's like when people try to win in an argument with me. You're like, I don't care. You're probably right. They're like, what do you mean?
And that pisses them off.
It's like, I don't care to be wrong. Like I only care for truth. I only care for what works and what does not. I care for the feedback. And when people hear, that's the funny thing. If I really want to win an argument, I will trigger you and you will respond emotionally and I'll manipulate you. Anyone who says they do not manipulate is a liar or they are naive. I would never do that. That's exactly why you would do that. It's exactly what makes it work. The fact that you think it doesn't work is what makes it work. But we live in a paradoxical world. So like I went on rewriting my book right now, and I'm putting a lot of this stuff in there. So it's funny, but I went on like 40 something dates in the last 60 days and just studying these girls. And I'm of course wanting to start a family here soon. It's like that's something I look at and see with your happiness is how you look at your family, your daughters and stuff like that. It's like, I want that. I want that. And the main reason I want it is because I see other people have it and the happiness they get from it. I'll be completely real with that, but I think it'd also be cool to have a little me running around.
Oh, watch out, world, dude.
I want a son in every country. No, but it's like the need to be right. When I noticed that when I was talking to these girls on dates, because dating and sales is it's very similar. But when these girls would tell me something, it's like, well, what happens if that isn't true? And I'd really get deep into their psyche and how they frame problems and view the world. And it's like, well, what's the point of being? It's like, it's disorienting. You can watch them get dizzy and nauseous and want to stand up and leave the date when they think they aren't right. It's like, interesting. That's so interesting because when it's a survival mechanism, if your worldview's off, it's scary. It takes away your stability. It's like that's just one essence of human nature that I understand very well. And so I'll make people think that they are right and they'll latch that onto me. Or people don't want to be blamed for their problems. No one wants to take a responsibility. For every person who tunes into Dr. Phil for accountability, there's 100 times more millions of people that don't want to accept responsibility, and they will happily latch on to whoever throws rocks at their enemies and says, like, it's not your fault so-and-so lied to you and gaslighted you and all that. There are so many nuances of this stuff, but just
so talk about the nuance and real quick, y'all. If you could put in the comments if you guys are hearing us, okay? Just let me know real quick. I got a message. I just want to make sure that we're going through just because it's StreamYard to Facebook. Let us know if you can still hear us, okay? Appreciate that. But you talk about the nuances, right? And so you blew my mind at Perry's the other day when you were talking about just that the webinar. I'm like, wait, hold on. So are you selling like what the so? Can you share a little bit about just the webinar and kind of just, and honestly, I would call that probably a weekly win. Well, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, but can you share just a little bit about that? Maybe not have to share everything, but just kind of what made you kind of get that, or like, what was the idea of like, dude, I need to like go sell to these people for the agent to then help the agent. And then, so can you kind of talk through some of that? Cause I think it's a strategy I've never heard before used on the life insurance side. Talk through some of that.
But it's been used on other sides. You see good artists copy, great artists steal. And so I took people like Russell Brunson and Jason. Here was the dilemma I had as an agent. I said, should I listen to my agency owner who barely makes $500 to maybe $2 million a year? Should I listen to him or should I listen to someone who's built a company worth, $100 million?
All right.
There's no one in the insurance industry who's done that. Like, stop it. Stop. You're fooling yourself. So I'm going to go listen to really rich people, not people who think they are rich. And I was like, they're all selling to the masses. They're all selling one to many rather than one to one. Selling one to one is the equivalent of trading time for money. Trading time is a limited resource. You use your muscles over time to pick up the phone and call people. So you're trading a limited resource times another limited resource. That means you must get a limited outcome, limited money, limited income. But if I can break that connection and I can sell more, It takes the same amount of time to sell to 1,000 people as it does to one.
Right.
And so the first agent I brought on with this agent has never made more than $12,000 in a month, to be specific. They crossed a 6-figure day in an hour.
Say it again. Say it again.
Well, all you agency owners are bragging about $40,000, $50,000 months. Like, that is cute. I've had agents who have done 6 figures in a day, and from an hour. So it's just leverage.
Yeah.
It's just leverage. And that's to bend and warp your mind to expose you to what's really possible. I'm the only person who's found out this model. Everyone who's tried to copy it failed miserably. So best of luck to you. But all you're doing is you're selling one to many. And here's the thing. I understand what kept my business from growing to 2 commas, if not more, was I was trying to sell marketing to salespeople. Insurance agents just want to sell, and they really don't even want to do that most of the time.
Right.
They just want to get paid for work they never did. Don't we all? Can we just be real?
Yeah, right.
Can we just be real?
Yeah.
I'd love to have that.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? And so I said, what if I sold for them and they kept all the commissions? Like, what if I just get paid out of the money that I make you? Found money. And so I would do these webinars for people. I've got a new challenge model coming out that's, it's even juicier. Makes me salivate. No, but now I'm selling for the agents. They write all the policies and they just pay me. It depends on our deal. You can give me equity. I can take 30% of sales. And then the back end that I build for these people, because not every girl puts out on the first date. Not my kind of girl, but not my type of customer. But I have a really good back end with email marketing and stuff like that, because most people just aren't going to buy on the first time.
Right. Well, and I think, we'll get into that too, because we're also going to talk about, some tech platforms, guys, and just things that you guys can use to really, again, that's for sales, that's for customer service, that's for, again, all the retention, everything that we're going to kind of get into. But I want to, last point on really kind of selling to the masses. And having just this strong online presence. Y'all look at the group that you're in right now. I made a post yesterday, right, where I said, guys, I had to make the decision to leave some Facebook groups, and now I'm only in 218, right? And so my whole thing, Facebook groups, y'all, if you are not leveraging and utilizing Facebook groups, then you are missing the freaking boat. When you look at everything that, when we were building Redwood, okay, and then obviously Clarity, now we'll obviously Clearview now, right? And I'm going to Red. I'm gonna miss that jam, dude. That was such a good jam. Shout out Joey Yak for that banger. But everything that I've built when it comes to either referrals, leads, intake, anything like that, whether that's on the agent side of things, so again, building like the actual the agent distribution in the workforce within the company, or literally feeding my team leads and referrals, it is all from freaking Facebook specific. 95% of it's from Facebook groups. 5% of it is just making sure your profile doesn't make you look crazy. 95% of it is freaking all in these Facebook groups, y'all. Look, Mason's laughing. He's like, oh shit, I should probably clean up my personal profile. But no, it's true. But how he's selling on the webinar, it doesn't matter. And I'm just saying, so for me to be able to sell to the masses, these Facebook groups have been massive for me. And one thing, I love that you said earlier too, is just not leaving people to their own devices. I hope that you guys heard that. That's one note before we kind of move on. Is just really pushing them to a decision, right? When you let somebody make their own decision, 9 times out of 10, right, you're going to be following up, and we're going to get into touch points and stuff like that too. You're going to be calling them, and then they just never actually pull the trigger, right? So I love that you said that. That's actually really smart on the landing page. Is like, don't give them any other option other than the option you want.
It's not even just that. It's the illusion of choice. And so helping people, here's the thing. Let's say, Joe, let's say back in the day, you're 14, you're young, dumb, and full of, the rest of the quote. It's let's say your mom and your dad, they don't like the girl that you're hanging out with. And they say, you know what? We're never letting you see her ever again. You have to do what we say. And then when you go over to your friend's dad's house, he's like, well, the decision's yours, whether you want to do it or not. Like, which one of those frames sounds more enticing?
Right.
And so you're going to latch onto the people who give you the illusion of choice, who give you power over the decisions in your life. And so that's a frame that I sell with. Like, look, no one can do this for you. It's like, I can't make the decision on whether you want to join my program or not. You have to decide that. And that's a lot better frame than other marketers, other people. You have to buy my leads.
Right.
You have to buy my B3 sold 90 times. Geez, don't even get me into this stuff.
Yeah, don't, Mason. Don't go. No, I get it. I get you. And it's good, y'all. So again, real quick on the marketing, just for the online presence piece, right? Obviously having some type of website, landing page, funnel, keep that simple. You guys heard Mason talking about it. The header and kind of above the fold is very important when creating those things. Utilizing social media platforms. Obviously, you guys know Facebook's my bread and butter. I know people killing it still on freaking Twitter. I know people killing it on TikTok. We've got an agent that's selling this mortgage-free life stuff. I mean, the guy's making like almost $19,000 a day or something because of all these freaking TikTok videos he's doing. So make sure you're utilizing social media platforms. Online advertising, I'm not doing a bunch of online advertising. I actually am for the first time ever paying for an ad. It's more on the recruiting side of things just because we're really gearing up here at Clearview. Nothing crazy, and it's not like anything to write home about. Not saying the results, but it's like I'm not spending a bunch of freaking money. I'm going through Reminder Media with our guy Luke Akery, and they're doing a great job. So I'm not going to speak too much of that. But then the webinars, you guys heard Mason sell to the many. It's going to take you the same amount of time to sell to 1,000 on an hour-long call it is to have an hour-long call with a single prospect.
That's their biggest problem is they don't tell enough people about what they do. And here's the thing: nobody will ever catch up with me. I spend over $1,000 a day on ads, and that's on multiple platforms. But I have continuity, and so all the money that I make in my programs just goes right back into ad spend, and I just keep building that continuity machine up because people pay me monthly.
Yep.
So recurring revenue is really the name of the game. If you don't have continuity, you don't have a business. It's one of my favorite quotes from Dan Kennedy. But it's like I can spend more to acquire customers than I can effectively weed other people out. I'm to the point now where my ads team, I'm like, what I want you guys to do is raise how much we're paying to acquire. They're like, what do you mean? You want to purposefully pay more? It's like, yeah, because that means I'm raising the prices on other people advertising to insurance agents. And so I know most of them's pockets don't go that deep.
Right. You got to know that. Hey, you got to know the field you play in. I freaking love that, dude. That's good. Well, hey,
dickhead move, but it works.
It does. It does work. You're 100% correct. It's knowing your market, bro, and your competition. Hey, real quick, y'all, and then we're going to kind of move into the sales side of this, but just some traditional marketing techniques. Obviously, we're sitting there. Pretty much everything we're talking about is all virtual. It's online. We're living in a virtual world. So if you're not utilizing, that leverage and just the ability to reach literally anybody in the freaking country through these platforms, through, again, virtual webinars, whatever that looks like, ads, online presence, all that good stuff, you should be doing that. But your traditional marketing techniques like networking events, referral programs, and direct mail campaigns. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Just to give you guys kind of an idea for a networking event, you guys have seen Mason's actually been to one or two. I think the ATX agent hangout that we run here in Austin. We've been kind of a little bit slow in the past few months just with everything with Clearview, but for years, I mean, the second Friday of every single month, 2+ years in a row, man, we are just getting together and networking with agents. A lot of the times people go to these networking events with an agenda and all this. Dude, you guys are missing out on business if you're going there like already having, this is what I'm going to get out of this. So for us, it's just hanging out, having food, drinks, and then you'd be amazed at what we get out of that. Referral programs. So referral programs, we talked a little bit about this actually. I just posted a video in David and L. Denning's group, Marketing for Insurance Agents, on this, but it's my roofer marketing program. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but just great referral partners for you guys to establish relationships with. This definitely is on the property and casualty side, but wanted to get it out there. Is car dealerships right now. A lot of y'all going after lenders and loan officers, which we're going to talk about that here in the sales piece. Probably don't want to be doing that because not a lot of people want home insurance or property insurance right now on the carrier side of things. So you need to shift that up. But I'm working with car dealerships, roofers, and some of the most powerful referral partners. I'm sitting next to a guy that just gave us a referral this way. Is other insurance agents. And again, like a life agent who focus on truckers or a health agent that focus on truckers is a great referral partner for a P&C person that does not focus on the life or health for truckers, right? Can we do it? Yeah. But then that makes it even more beautiful too, because then you have commission splits and stuff like that. So again, and then direct mail campaigns. I don't do direct mail. I've heard it's kind of coming back, but I'm not really going to speak on that because I just don't do direct mail. If you want to do direct mail, talk to Todd McLean with Smarketing. They do a great job over there. So let's go ahead and pivot, guys. And if you have any questions or anything like that, Especially I know with Mason kind of going through his just webinar stuff, anything that we're going through here, if you have any questions, just put that in the comments. We're more than happy to pull that up and answer that real time. Okay. So now we're going to go into sales techniques for insurance agents. Okay. So obviously we're talking about marketing, which is, hey, just let people know what you freaking do. But then once they know what you do and they reach out to you, hopefully is what they're doing, right? Or you reach out to them, you're not lazy anymore and you're picking up the phone. Then how are we actually going to freaking sell these people? Mason was hinting at it earlier when he was introducing himself and just how to understand how to sell these people. And so really understanding the target market. The first one here is really identifying your potential client. This one is something that I think, again, referencing David and Elle Denning, they do a really good job of this, is really who is your ideal client avatar? I will speak specific to, obviously, to the property and casualty people here, but I tell you, dude, like 9 out of 10 freaking PNC. Who's your ideal client? Or like, who's your ideal? Well, it's a homeowner, right? Or it's like to work with realtors and lenders in order to get business. And it's like,
they have a pulse.
Well, but dude, when you really, and shout out to Victor Gonzalez, you got to know your numbers, because if you know your numbers, it's so funny. We were so trained to see that or say that, yeah, these are our best clients and like our best referral sources. And then I would run my numbers, dude. And it's like, bro, I've closed like 5 deals on that side of things. Like that's not even, so it must not be my ideal client avatar. And so again, really breaking that down. I'm not going to lie, y'all. Don't get me wrong. Was I raised right? So I can sell to the older crowd for sure. But I mean, look at what I'm wearing. My ideal client avatar is probably not somebody who's turning 65, like for Medicare, right? Like I'm not going to show up to somebody's house to enroll them in Medicare wearing this jersey. And so my ideal client avatar is anybody really in their kind of mid 20s to, I'd say 40s to early 50s. Anything over that is, I'm not going to resonate with them as much as maybe somebody who is a little bit closer to their age or whatever. And I have no problem with that. Hey, I know who I work the best with. So you need to really, again, identify who that ideal client avatar is, know who it is. And again, that's going to vary based off the line of business that you're in. But the only way that you identify that, and Mason, I know you can attest to this, it's how you market to people and get people into running buddies and all the other webinar stuff that you're doing. You just got to know your numbers, right? Like know all the deals that you're closing. I would say also too, when it comes to tailoring your sales approach, I am not going to freaking talk to a trucker the way that I would talk to your freaking mom, right? Like, I mean, I literally just wouldn't. So when you're going to speak to these people, and Todd can attest, I know he's here in the comments. Todd, you can drop a comment if you want. But yeah, the way that we sell to the trucking industry, and not to say that it's bad or like but it's different. We have tailored it to really, speak more to them. And it goes back to what you were saying. It's just understanding the human nature of like, dude, truckers are going to be different.
What you said a while ago
Mm-hmm.
is the most important part about it. It's not that it's bad. That's the filter people process and run through their mind. They don't question anything. It's all automatic. Your decisions are already made for you. We are slaves of cause and effect. The moment the decision goes into play, it's already been made for you. Like what you're going to eat today, if you're going to read or not, you've already made the decision. And so people run things through a morality filter and say, oh, well, I would never do that, when in fact you would do that.
If you saw how much we were selling, you would do that. But yeah, keep going.
It's just a morality filter. People, I would never manipulate anybody. If you sold a policy, you've manipulated somebody. If you've been on a date, you've manipulated somebody, boy or girl. You just have to accept human nature for what it is, and influence is going to happen as a result of everything you do. You cannot not communicate. Mm-hmm. What you're talking about with the sales stuff and identifying your client avatar, a lot of you think you sell to everyone, and that's why you sell to no one. Like a message for everybody is a message for nobody. A product for everyone is a product for no one. You have to know the problem you want to solve. And here's the thing, you guys solve problems you want to solve, not that the people want to pay for. People have asked me, what do you sell? Well, it depends. What do you want to buy? I only want to sell what people want to buy. First off. Second, they have to have a painful problem with a price that they pay for having it. Someone who is fat has a price they pay for going up the stairs and getting winded. Someone who is poor has a price they pay for having to tell their kids no before a question even comes out of their mouth because they know that they don't have enough money. If their pain has no price that they pay for it, then your solution has no value to them in their eyes. It's one of my favorite Plato quotes. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Value is subjective. People will always do what is in their own best perceived self-interest. And this is why people join cults or insurance agents
or the insurance industry. That's
we're
funny.
all a little crazy over
Right.
it. Can everyone in the comments let me know if you remember what it feels like to be a normal person?
I swear, dude. And I've been doing it for 10 years now. And it's funny.
Do you remember what it's like before you went crazy, a little bit delusional?
Well, it's funny because I start to think it's like, man, I mean, I was 19 when I got in. So I'm trying to like, what was I doing? I'm like, dude, I was working construction and drinking a lot of alcohol. Like, and that's like all I was doing, man. Like, gosh, here we go. All right, we're moving on. Well, actually, this is a good one to move on to. So obviously identifying the potential client, right, and tailoring that sales process. And again, y'all, do you have that? I know it's kind of basic, but like, do you even have that in place where like I don't have just some generic script that I'm going to use for every single one of my clients, right? It's everything is tailored to the people that are on the other end of that phone. Obviously, we're all telesales. I think this would be a little bit easier to do maybe in person just because you can read the body language and really kind of feel that out. But still, once you have that, then it's now we need to build and maintain the relationship, right? And so effective communication. And the note that I have on here, it says effective communication for me. And if you're within Clearview at all, if you've ever been on a conversation with me, I'm all about over communication. Hey, there may be an email go out, then I'm going to put it in the Slack too. And then I'm also going to pin it and then I'm going to forward it out to the teams or whatever it is. Like effective communication to me is over communication, because when there's over communication, then you can't say I didn't communicate. Not to the point of where, now again, that's more on the agent side. I wouldn't be ramming insurance like down your clients' throats either, right? And I think a lot of agents do. You lose the sale because of how much you talk about the product, right? And you don't listen enough. You don't ask the right questions. So again, having the effective communication, and for me, it is sometimes in that over communication where, man, I make sure that we are on the same page and they know where we stand. And that can definitely apply to the agents as well as your clients. I have a question for you on this, Mason, just because obviously the way that we sell is just we sell differently. Yeah, not bad. We just sell differently, which I freaking love. It's why I like the conversations that we have. Follow-up strategies. So for us, it's typically 8 to 12 touch points. Obviously, if we've got the opt-in and they're like, we've already worked it and quoted it, like, I mean, we're going to go up to 12. Obviously, if it's somebody, if I don't have a text opt-in, whatever, and like it's just I'm working a cold list, maybe 3 to 4 times, and then we're on to the next, right? What are your when it comes to follow-up, like when somebody enters your funnel, right, or goes through your pages and so, like, and maybe they don't show up to the webinar. So like, what are your follow-up, or like what's some things you would give some agents, or even maybe think back to when you were selling life insurance and crushing it there, like how persistent were you when it comes to the follow-up side of things? And was there like, what was the strategy behind that?
It depends. Some people I wanted, obviously, their money. And then other people, I wanted them to do nothing but leave me alone. And I demanded that they did not buy a policy. That you cannot pay to give me a headache. There's some people who think it's God's mission on earth to give you like such a big headache that if you own the biggest Tylenol factory in the world, you wouldn't get rid of it. And so I want those people out of my funnel as quick as possible. Well, there's agents below certain monthly incomes that I want not like, go check out my free stuff.
Right.
You're just not a good fit but I have automation sequences and all of that stuff. It really just depends. I don't like over communication in certain contexts. Like some people respond very well to stories. Some people respond well to indirect versus direct communicate. It's always, what is the purpose and what is the message I want to get crossed? Who am I talking with? It's kind of like you told Amar the other day. It's like, read the room. Most people cannot do that. They don't have enough sensory acuity to read what people are doing, what they are feeling. And it's just, they treat everybody the same. So, I mean, a lot of people, I just want to get on my email list. My money is in my email list. That, like, did you remember when Facebook went down the other month? It was down for a whole day.
Yeah.
Well, while everyone else who depended on Facebook for leads, I've made more money that day from a single email campaign explaining why you needed to have your own list. It's like, well, everyone else was just sitting there. Well, what do I do?
No comment.
What do I do?
No comment.
I sent out one email that morning. I said, it's going to be a great day. And I saw the Stripe deposits start coming in, all because I had a list. Now, what's crazy is how many people think email is dead or anything like that. On average, you should make $1 per email per month that you have on your list. If you're an insurance agent, you should make 10 times that for every dollar I put into my like email list, I get about 37, 38 back. And so how many dollars would you put in an ATM if you kept getting 37 to 38 out? That's why I send an email every day. But I have over 40,000 agents on my list. When I was an insurance agent, I had over 100,000 people on my list. So I could send one email and book my entire sales calendar for me and my entire team in a day. That's majority of my follow-up is just repeated inductions. I don't want to go for the kill every single time. Only 3% of people in your market at any given point are credit card in hand ready to buy. You might have caught them at the right moment, but for the other 97%, it's how many times can I get in their head? How many times can I build associations? That way they remember me. How many times can I get them to feel good about me? It's
well, go into that, because I think, part of
what
the
advertisers do.
Right. It is. It 100% is. And so, but it's also the systems and everything. So we're going to I want to talk about just the systems that you're using for that. Right. So now kind of on the sales side, it's just utilizing technology. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm on SalesPipe. You guys know what I use SalesPipe for. I put it all in the group if you guys have questions on that. But I actually want to kind of give you some time to just talk about, what you're doing with your build out. I believe it's called Forge. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I've got the Forge. It's just a CRM that
but
I
just
give to
talk about, because you were just talking about all the follow-up and everything you're doing and all the automations and again, just staying top of mind with these people. What are you using to do that? Because I know that's going to be a question. I saw Victor Gonzalez in here too. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. But Mason, what system specifically are you using for the emails, for the automations?
So, I mean, everything is just a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone in today's industry. It's all white labeled, go high level, where they screw you on the back end with these outrageous, egregiously priced text message and email rebilling, because that's where they make their real money. And so I have a lot of email follow-ups. There's one in there that goes over a year. They get an email a day for a year. There's text message campaigns. There's automated funnels that push them to offer walls. There's so many different processes in there that for every step of the journey, for every different type of agent I know would ever possibly come in my funnels. But it also there's different awareness levels. People who are not problem aware are going to go through a different process than people who are product aware, who are actively looking for a solution. It amazes me. Just go pick up breakthrough advertising. And I know 99% of the people won't ever do anything. But there's one of you on here. I'm talking to you, young man, young lady, who actually cares about their future, who actually wants to.
What's it called? Well, who's it by?
Eugene Swartz.
Okay.
Stop listening to your agency owner who thinks throwing more bodies at the problem is what's going to fix it. Go pick up real advertising and real marketing practices if you want to do something big. If you just want to make a measly $10K a month, ignore everything I'm saying. This is for winners who want to win. Okay. I want to do big things. And I assume there's one out of, what is the thing that Plato says? He's like, for every 100 people you might
You're
find
asking
a hero.
the wrong person. I have no.
This is more of a question to myself. Once I ask a question to myself, I can recall it. That's how I've trained my brain. Out of 100 men, you may find a hero. You may find a wise man out of 1,000, but an accomplished man you might not find among 100,000. Well, I want to be an accomplished man. I don't want to die with no one ever not remembering anything. Like, it's kind of like the army stuff. People go join the army, then they get blown up. It's like, well, 40,000 people died today, and Mason VanMeter. It's like, well, at least they said my name, and I wasn't just 40,000. Like, at least I got remembered, because I want to be important. Like full transparency.
I like it. Well, and guys, just to make sure and highlight that so you guys know what he's using, go high level. If you guys do have questions, he does have
Adam Lindsay runs all of my stuff for me. I am not. I build technology when I have to. I'm to the point now in my life where it costs me more to do that stuff, and that's where I want to get you, is to where you can pay to get other people to do shit you don't want to do. But Mason, I love mowing my yard. You must have not been drinking a Celsius watching someone else sweat while mowing your yard in the Austin, Texas sun. That's what I love, watching other people do shit that I don't want to do because I have money to pay them. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I can pay other people to do stuff that I don't want to do. I'm not cleaning ditches. Dishes.
It's delegation at its finest, right? I mean, it really is.
It's peasantry. I'm not doing dishes.
But hit up Adam Lindsay. He's in here in the group. If you guys are interested in checking out Mason's GHL build, hit up Adam.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you a year for $10.
There you go. You guys heard it.
I just saved you $1,200. You're welcome. I'm a generous person.
Well, okay, so then let's pivot to this piece because I think also automation is important, and I know you actually do a really good job at this when it comes to upselling and cross-selling. And I think, you know, a lot of the times, y'all, we really overcomplicate this. That or we get so Tony actually Merwin did this was probably a couple years ago and just had kind of an analogy about how, you know, when we're having problems or when we're selling products, you know, our head's so far into the freaking under the hood of the car that we're like, it's not working or something, you know, they're not buying whatever. And it's like, well, dude, get your head out from under the hood and like look at the whole thing, right? And really kind of look at the vehicle as a whole, not just at one piece. And again, I think that's cross-selling additional products. And for me, though, it's the importance of offering additional products, not necessarily always an insurance product. I think everybody's always thinking about trying to cross-sell. Okay, well, if I've got auto, I need to cross-sell the home, right? Well, you should. Yeah, we're trying to bundle and stuff like that, right? But I think everybody's trying to do that. And so, you know, a lot of what me and Mason are sitting here talking about, y'all, is we're trying to be different. We're trying to separate ourselves from the freaking crowd and from the rest of the noise out there. So for me, it's like you guys have seen me post a lot about this mortgage-free life stuff. I mean, it's like I can literally go into a house, and it's funny, it goes back to really understanding your ideal client avatar. Most of the people I'm talking with are homeowners. I don't necessarily want their home insurance, but I do want them to be a homeowner because I've got this product where I can help them pay off their house in 5 to 7 years and save them 6 figures in interest and help create tax-free retirement income at the age of 60 or 65. And it's like having a product like that. What does that do for me as a property and casualty agent, right? I know obviously I'm life licensed and that is, you know, it's life products and stuff built into it, but like that is a product that totally separates me from the noise and from the rest of the crowd. And it's something that I can upsell. And my commission's like, the average is like over $20-something thousand. And it's like, I'm not even selling anything. I'm just helping people. That or it's warranties. So if you're in the trucking insurance side of things, and I don't care, this applies to the health agents as well. Or DOT compliance. I just rolled that out. If you guys aren't in the trucking syndicate, go check that out. Total free service to the agent, but it's driver training, it's drug consortium, it's all these things, like all this training, DOT compliance that's built in for these truckers that, dude, name another agent that's pushing that. Name another agent that's pushing a warranty that freaking like just totally wrecks powertrain, right? Or name another agent that has a premium finance guy that can literally finance the actual trucks that they're driving. So again, get your head out from under the hood. Think about it's not always necessarily going to be another insurance product that you need to be cross-selling, because ultimately, why do we cross-sell, Mason? Well, to have more lines of business in the house. Why do we want more lines of business in the house? Because it makes that business freaking stick for way longer versus somebody who's just going to roll with me for 6 months or a year and then bounce on me. And so again, think outside of the box when it comes to how you're cross-selling. And then really, and it just says the strategies for successful upselling and cross-selling. You know what I put? Ask for it. Just ask for it, man. So many of y'all are just literally not even asking, hey, is there anything else I can help you with? Or you're not asking the right questions within the sales process where, dude, you should be at the end of this process, you should already have every line of business in the house. Ask for it. Same thing for the freaking referral. How do you get so many referrals, Mason? I don't know. I ask for them, right? That's like,
well, in
so
a lot
simple.
of the things that I sell them, it's a part of it. Once I know my activation points for my customers, and right after they have the biggest win is right when I ask them to do all of that stuff. So when it comes to upselling, there's a couple of routes that I like to go down. I either sell them more of what they just bought or the next logical problem that needs to be solved as a result of purchasing the first one. And this can also be used for a very good sales process. Is people love, with a capital L, to solve problems that they do not even have yet. And so if I can sell something that foreshadows the results of the main thing that I want to sell, you best believe they're buying both. It's like if I told an insurance agent, hey, this program is going to help you add an extra $100,000 to your bottom line. I'm not responsible for this year's tax bill. So I went ahead and put this program together over here that you're going to meet with this CPA and they're going to help you save it. And they're like,
right.
the foreshadowing, it's future pacing. I know how to use spatial orientation against people because most people are myopic to the future. Their problems are way out there until they're right here, and that's why they can't zoom out. Some people call it ADHD. And I'm a very weird dude. Like I said, I crossed that line of insanity a long time ago. You'd have to be insane to prove you're sane. Just I'm not even gonna go into that.
Don't do it.
I can get
That's
deep.
funny.
I can go deep.
Yeah.
Because I hate surface level shit. So why would you not keep selling them something if they're in that buying trance?
Right.
Because the one thing I want to do is I understand, even when I sold insurance, I was not in the insurance business. I was in the business of acquiring customers.
It's good.
Most people, I sell policies. So you have fun with that.
Right.
People don't want to buy policies. I've never woke up and was like, oh, I got to buy a policy today.
So hyped for insurance this morning. Let's go.
No, but I want to train my customers that, hey, when you talk with me, get in the habit of pulling your credit card out. I want to install habits in their mind. They're anchors. It's like, when I look at Mason, when I show up to his webinars, I have to get in the habit of pulling my credit card out to solve my problems, because I don't want customers who want everything for free. If it's free, you don't value it.
Yes. Preach.
If you have to drag them in, you have to drag them through. And so the agents that are like, well, can I pay you out of the profits that I make? It's like, no, you cannot, Kobe Bryant. Okay. No, you cannot. Like, why do I got to get the short end of the stick? I have the answer to your problem, not the other way around. And if you don't buy, my life doesn't change one inkling. Everything changes for you. Everything changes for you. It's so funny. It's like, I hold the power dynamic and I don't need your money.
That's good.
I don't need your money. It's, you cannot pay me to give me a headache.
Right.
I do. Like,
if you drag them, I love that line.
You got to drag them in. You have to drag them through.
If you drag them in,
it's because I sold headache clients who would charge. I lost a Stripe account with hundreds of thousands of dollars. They froze all my money and seized everything because of a $1,500 chargeback that someone said was credit card fraud, even though they signed an agreement. I had everything, but Stripe is
Stripe.
I'm not going to use any political words in here, but Stripe is Stripe. And people typically, the customer is always right. The customer is almost never right. They are responsible. They created their own problems.
Right.
What does Einstein say? The same thinking that created a problem will never be the same thinking that solves it. You're not going to solve your own problems. If you were, you already would have. Okay. And so I lost a lot of money over a $1,500 chargeback. And I said, you know what? Not everybody is my customer. Just because you sell insurance, I don't want your money. And that's when I started making a lot more of it. That one multiple $100,000 mistake has taught me more than probably anything. Success tells you very little.
Right.
Success tells you very little.
It leaves some clues, right? But I like that. Real quick here, guys, before we're going to spend the tail end of the call here, just talking about the service side of things and really retaining our clients, which is crazy important. Obviously, marketing and sales, that's the name of the game to get them in the door. I love what Rebecca Davis says all the time is, hey, so many people have that front door wide open and they're killing it and they're selling a bunch of new business, but then that back door is wide open too. So people literally just walking in and walking out. So we're going to talk through some of that real quick. Victor had a question for you. Mason, who are you using for payment processing? Are you on Stripe again? Or
I've got authorized.net. I've got multiple payment processors just because I have to hedge against the risk of being shut down. I mean, I use PayPal, Wave. I have other Stripe accounts. Affirm and Klarna are soy boys, so they don't like info product businesses. They're e-com. Then I've got some stuff set up with my own bank, and so I have a payment processing thing that I use with my own bank, which is pretty cool. They do some very nice things for me because they are very nice ladies in there, and I'm a regular. I'm a nice guy. Well, let's just say that they you guys know me as Mason, but they know me as
Oh God. You're so corny.
They love that. They love it. They love it when I go in.
You're so corny. That's hilarious, man. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up here. Thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in. If you do have, again, further questions, anything like that, even if you're catching the replay, do not hesitate to put those in the comments. Me and Mason will definitely circle back around and get those answered for you. And I'm seeing the comments. Shout out to what's up, everybody who's commenting. We appreciate you guys. But the role of service and the success of an insurance agent, we're going to cruise through some of these things. But y'all, really, we probably should have led with this because I think service and purpose, that's kind of our name of the game here at Clearview. And something that we've always just kind of held at the front of mind here is that it's all about the service. It's all about retaining your client. It's all about that repeat business. Kind of, to Mason's point, I know on the life insurance side, you're not necessarily, getting a bunch of renewals, but at the same time, like you could just keep selling them, right? So it's like keeping them on the books, keeping them as clients, keeping those policies enforced. It is important, not just for you, but ultimately for the client, right? If we're selling them something that we believe is really going to solve their problem, we want to try and help them keep that policy in force. So providing exceptional customer service, the importance of customer retention, close the back door. I just referenced it. Rebecca Davis is who I got that from. Anybody can sell a new policy, guys. Anybody can sell a new policy. That's damn near the easiest part. The hardest part is keeping them on the books. And I'm speaking specific to our property and casualty and Medicare agents. I know, well, on the health side too, all of our money is in the residual freaking income. There are thousands and thousands of other insurance agents out there that have the same products, that can sell the same new business rates, all these things, right? And that's okay. That's fine. That's why we were talking about the things that allow you to kind of separate yourself from the noise. But so many of them will just stop there. They will sell that new business policy and then never pick up the phone again for that freaking client. That's how you lose money. That's how you will be stuck in the freaking rat race forever. And I know Mason's talked with probably, if not at this point, hundreds, if not thousands of agents that just like, dude, just pick up the phone, do right by your client. But I think it's also this, it's going above and beyond for your client. And I've been talking about this recently, definitely here within the group. Just the standard and the bar of where the bar is at in our industry. It really is. It's funny because a lot of the times when agents or when a client's calling an agent, like yesterday, I'll tell you guys this story. She's on the car lot. Okay. She is literally on the car lot and just needs a quote that's at least it's $300 a month or less or something like that to get the car off the lot. And when she's calling her current agent, what is it? Crickets, dude. So then I get a referral. It's actually an agent from Ohio. This is a friend of his who's in Texas, and she's on the lot. You know what is going above and beyond for the client literally right now? Again, you should be doing more than this. Just speed to contact and calling them. Like, hey, man, when somebody sends you a referral, y'all don't call them 2 days later. It's like, dude, the bar is so low. And
I've got a news flash for all of you. Get your buckets. What are you doing in here? It's raining money outside. The bar's never been lower. I went on a date to Pluckers the other day, a chicken wing place for lunch, and I held the door open. She goes, like, I was like, what? Like, why is that not normal?
The standard is low.
Why is that not normal? Like, I can get a girl and keep her. It's no different in business. Just act like there's no problem that cannot be solved in your business by not talking to your customers more. Call them and ask them why they bought a policy from you.
That's good. That's actually a really good question.
They'll tell you, well, you know what? You seem like a trustworthy person. Well, you know what? You put my fears at ease. And they'll tell you exactly how they want to be sold and exactly how their money moved from their bank to the carrier to your pocket. It's never been easier. Cheese and rice.
We're not gonna get them going. Okay, we're gonna cruise through some of these next ones just because I want to respect y'all's time. I appreciate you guys. But I think handling claims, and this is something honestly important for a life insurance agent. I mean, how to handle a death claim and things like that. I mean, this shit happens to you guys. Definitely. I mean, our bonus checks are based off claims. So it's something that obviously the PNC agents, we live just in the nature of our vertical within the industry. But something for me that always really allowed me to have so much more success in sales, I think, than the average Joe. No pun intended. But actually, I guess pun intended, huh? But I started in customer service. So I did know everything that happened after I pushed the button. Now, I also think this is something, again, I know I'm speaking specific to PNC agents. Some of y'all really like to be super involved in the claims process, and I would not really 100% advise that. For me, obviously, like here's our process. Call us first. Obviously, do not, and I was just actually having this conversation yesterday with an agent when it comes to just involvement in claims. Dude, I ain't the carrier, right? I am not the claims adjuster. I am now I am the advisor. So call me first. Do not call the carrier first, because then they're legally obligated to open that claim, and then you're just sitting there, right? But for me, it's call us first. let's review the policy, right? Which is our job as the advisor. Let's review the policy I sold them. Let's review deductibles. Let's make sure it makes sense to even file this claim. Let's educate them on the fact that claim is going to hit them for the next 3 to 5 years, potentially, depending on the severity, okay, or the carrier. And then ultimately, hey, if they end up deciding they don't want to pay it out of pocket or it is worth filing the claim, then here is the contact information to the claims adjuster. If for whatever reason you're having issues with just getting a hold of them after the process is started, don't hesitate to call me. But I hear some of the agents, like they literally try to stair step and handhold people through the entire process. And they'll tell people, well, no, that's got to be covered. This is going to be paid, or this. You ain't the carrier and you're not the adjuster. So you're doing them a disservice by being too involved. It's just like how I'm not going to go and like try and, solve a Medicare problem if I hear Gabo having a problem in the back. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm not even a point. So there's nothing for me to say. So again, be involved in the process, be there for your client in the claim, and definitely, obviously, on the life side and the death claim, understand the process behind that and what needs to be done in order for that family to be taken care of in the midst of all the chaos that they're going through. But on the property and casualty side, be involved, but not too involved, because you don't want to go sit there telling them, oh yeah, you're going to get a $10,000 payout. And then it turns out they only got a $5,000 payout, but you told them a $10,000 payout, even though you shouldn't have. Well, it turns out now your E&O's up for grabs because they're like, well, you told me this. And unless you have some recorded line or documentation. So just be careful when you're getting into that claims process. But it does help to understand what it's going to be. Just don't be getting all up in their business when it comes to that side of things. Okay. What are you laughing at? What?
The analogy that's coming to my mind, it's like if we were to pair this like amount of fulfillment and length to a girl's skirt, it should be long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to create some interest. It's like that's what's coming to mind. Do just enough to solve the problem. It's like when I hear parents say they want to spend all day with their kids. Your kids don't want to spend all day with you. They want 1 hour, then they want to go draw on walls and set stuff on fire.
Right.
They're kids. Okay.
Yep. That's funny, man. That's good. Okay, y'all. Well, real quick, I'm not going to go over the last bit here. Just again, I want to respect y'all's time. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned in. Brian, hey, it's good to see you, Brian. I haven't seen you on here in a few weeks, man. Or maybe I've just been missing it with this whole StreamYard Facebook thing. So good to see you, man. I appreciate you. But real quick, just a quick recap, y'all. Implementing the marketing, sales, and service strategies in your business. Okay, you need to identify the strengths and weaknesses. Break it down. Work backwards. Develop a marketing plan. Make sure with your marketing plan, y'all, make sure it's congruent with your business model. I say this all the time. Is like, dude, if you don't do trucking insurance, like, don't go marketing to truckers, right? Like, educate, like, make sure, or like, hey, don't run a recruiting ad for agents if you're not trying to recruit or you're not in a position to be able to recruit, right? So any of these marketing plans or things that you're rolling out there, make sure it's just congruent with your business model. Training and developing for sales techniques. So obviously we know training and development, that comes from regular meetings. So you guys hear us talk about it a lot. We do our Monday and Friday meeting. Obviously we're in the bullpen. So pretty much there's a training or some type of something going on every single day, but really dedicated training, motivation, all that stuff for sales stuff, as well as mindset on a regular basis. Events, masterminds, right? Shout out to 8% Nation. That starts today. Shout out to Cody, man. I wish I could be there. Not able to attend this year for the first time in like 5 years, but shout out to 8%. That's a great place to. Today? That is today, and that's a great place to go work on some sales techniques, y'all. Mastermind. If you guys didn't see what I dropped yesterday, we are doing the acquisition master class next Tuesday. It's going to be a paid private. I love what you said earlier. I ain't doing it for free because I believe people pay for what they value. So it's in here in the group. So check it out if you guys want to. But it's a mastermind on how to literally go out and acquire multi-million-dollar companies. Like, yeah, dude, I think that you could probably pick up some sales techniques from that and really ultimately level up your freaking business. So if you have questions on that, let me know. Implementing processes for exceptional service. I'm not going to go too far in this one other than what is your process? Do you even have a process for when somebody calls into your agency, depending on what they're calling in for, right? Yeah, that or they're just like decline, right? Because I don't know what I'm going to say.
People's idea of sales today is buy this, then never call me again, never ask me any questions. It's very disingenuous to people.
Yes, it is. And then, hey, and the last bit, y'all, is utilizing data and analytics to track progress and make improvements, which, again, this is your second shout out, and you're tuned in on the show here, Victor. You got to know your numbers, man. How many times do I freaking say it? It's like, dude, if I'm going to utilize data and analytics to track that and to make improvements, you have to know what even that data and analytics is. which comes back to the systems that we're using, our CRMs and our agency management systems, all those things that you need to have in place, which again, it goes back to what is your process? What do you have in place? And so with that, y'all, thank you all so much for tuning in. I know we're going over an hour. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging in. Again, if you're catching the replay and not the live, do not hesitate to drop any questions in there for myself or for Mason, man. We would love to circle back. And also any type of weekly wins, put them in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate y'all. I don't care if it's a renter's policy or $1 million deal. Put it in the comments, man. We would love to celebrate y'all. Real quick, Mason, any parting words for our members?
Yeah, so I've got a Write More Policies challenge coming up. If you want to write, I'm not even talking 2 times. If you want to write 4 to 5 times as many policies as you are now, taking half the if you want to do less and make more as an agent and start buying your time back and stop being poor, go get a Write More Policies challenge ticket. I will show you the most advanced, nuanced human nature. I'll give it all to you. Okay, I'll help you make some money. In all seriousness, I will help put you in a different tax bracket. Like I said, don't come to me to pay your bill. I'm not responsible for what you do with your money. If you go fumble it on websites that you shouldn't be on, that's your fault. If you go blow it on alcohol, that's your fault. Okay. If you want to send me some steaks, that is well encouraged.
We'll take the steaks, dude.
So yeah, just go to writemorepolicies.com. I'm redoing the 2nd edition of my Life Insurance Agents Commandments book to be all about sales, because reading from a script is not sales training. You do not need a 17-page script. You need a framework that you should be able to memorize without looking at this. If this is your idea of selling, is just reading from a piece of paper, you're not selling. This is why people are not buying from you. So just come learn.
WriteMorePolicies.com. You guys heard it. And I mean, I'm telling y'all, I've seen what this guy can do. And some of that webinar stuff, y'all really need to freaking tap into it.
The webinar stuff is only for agency owners. Like if you want to take your yearly income and turn it into your monthly income, I'm your guy. I am your guy. I can make 100% guarantees on that because I'm the one selling it. You do nothing but get your agents to write policies. Okay. And so I'll take your yearly income and turn it into a monthly income. I don't know anyone else that can make that promise and actually back it up. So,
and it's true. It is true. I've seen it. The dude blew my mind. And y'all, again, we appreciate y'all. Happy winning on Wednesday. Thank you, Mason, for hopping on, man. I appreciate you, brother. Always good to have you here in office. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is the peak of the week. Do not slow down, right? Let's finish out the week strong. Y'all, it's already freaking halfway through July. We got to go hard. Yeah.
It's raining money outside.
It's raining money.
Go get your buckets, y'all.
Let's go, y'all. We appreciate you guys. Have a great day. See ya.
Look at Gabu stealing my words. The worst thing you can do is bore your client.